I need some member to make a call. Paul Goldsmith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to start by paying tribute to the 40 or 50 young New Zealanders working away in this building not far from here in the Empower New Zealand conference organised by the McGuinness Institute. And they've set themselves the task of drafting a new constitution for New Zealand. And I've had the honour of hosting them as the MP hosting them in this building. And I'm bound to say I'm not entirely convinced that we need a new constitution. In fact, I'm not convinced at all. I'm quite happy, I'm proud of the arrangements, constitutional arrangements that we have in New Zealand at the moment. I think they've served us well. We've inherited them from centuries of tradition in the UK. And we've got a good balance of liberty and simplicity around our arrangements without too many checks and balances. But I'm very glad that these young kids are all there. It's amazing the enthusiasm that they're showing and getting into the job. They're a brilliant bunch, mainly law students, too many law students perhaps, but law students nevertheless, wrestling with those difficult issues that we have and the conflicting rights and trying to ask, well, if we were to construct a constitution from start, where would we begin? And it's interesting when they're dealing with questions of rights, how you balance economic rights. Of course, there is no right to create money necessarily, and the right to live a life where you can enjoy all the things that life has to give. It does not give you the right to live off the work of somebody else. So there's all these balancing that these young people are trying to work out at the moment. And they've been at it for a day and a half, and tonight we're going to have a dinner where they're going to present the results of their efforts. And so anyway, good luck to them. Congratulations to the McGuinness Institute for putting that on, and best wishes to those young people. And when we turn to this question that's relevant today, though, about poverty, I just wanted to quote from Hansard, a speech from Matiria Toure in the adjournment debate just before Christmas, where she talked about saying the national government's attacks on beneficiaries, and to hear the Prime Minister in his address today restate the myth that work is the path out of poverty. The myth, she said, that work is the path out of poverty. The truth is, it is not. I'm quoting here from Hansard, Matiria Toure. It is true what I'm saying here. She said she did not like hearing the Prime Minister talk about the myth that work is the path out of poverty. The truth is that it is not. For 2 in every 5 children who live in poverty, whose parents work, work is not the pathway out of poverty. Work is the trap, because work is not properly paid. Well, heaven preserve this country if the Greens do get the opportunity to have control of the purse strings, and if Russell Norman is Finance Minister and Matiria Toure is Social Welfare Minister, because that's the sort of attitude that drives them. Work is not the path out of poverty, it is a trap. And I am mindful, though, Mr. Speaker, I on Saturday went along to a community lunch organised by the good people of the Remuera Community Lunch Club, and 1 or 2 of them were pointing to an article from Anne Salmon a couple of weeks ago, saying that parliamentarians were too combative, and we should all, that's right, we should hold hands and agree with everything, and we shouldn't talk in slogans at each other, we shouldn't be critical of each other, we should be focusing on the united path. And so I don't want to be unduly critical of Matiria Toure and the Greens for their philosophy, but I am amazed that we still have such people spouting such a simplistic view of the world, as if that working is not a good thing, and taking responsibility for yourself and your family is not something that is important to the community. And so the question I ask them is, we all agree across all sides of this House that poverty, and child poverty in particular, is a concern. Nobody wants to live in a society where there are children who are struggling, genuinely struggling, and we've spent a great percentage of the government activity that we're a part of is about taking money off some people and giving it to other people in order to try and alleviate that problem. And haven't been all that successful in the last 70 years that social welfare organisations in New Zealand have been redistributing a huge amount of money. And you ask yourself, well, why hasn't it been that successful? Why do we continue to have poverty in New Zealand? There are a whole lot of reasons for that, but part of it is about addressing those fundamentals of restating that important element of responsibility, and people taking responsibility for their families and for their own lives. And I suppose when you're in government, the question is, what do you actually do about it? And this government, I'm proud to be part of, has done a number of things in that area. Thank you very much.
Kevin Haig.
Just getting to the final point.
I wasn't